Hey people, and today we're going to be turning this concept drawing into a resin statuette. So let's get on with it. First things first, let's cut that shape out on a piece of wood. I've traced my template out on a bit of MDF. Now let's cut it out. Background is done. Now let's cut these little fellas out. Okay, let's draw around that and we've got our placement. I'm going to be using this stuff, NSP Medium, sulfur-free Plasteline. The reason I'm using this and not the wet clay, which is a water-based, because the wood itself will suck out all the moisture and the clay would crack. And this stuff stays malleable forever. Now it's a bit tough to work with to start with because it needs heating up. So what I do is I just place it on a piece of granite down there in front of the fire, leave it for about 5 or 6 minutes, and then it's good to go. Now the lady who commissioned me for this job, we've been back and forth with emails over the past week and we've finally decided on this design. She's happy and so am I. So let's sculpt these two little faces, shall we? Time lapse. Hey people, the sculpt has come to a point now where it needs smoothing out. Now, unlike water-based clay, this stuff you can only smooth out with certain things, and this is one of them. Goo Gone. It's brilliant stuff. You just put it on just like you would with the water base with the water, and you can smooth it off. And it also takes off those annoying little adhesive stickers that you can't get off. You just spray it on, 20 seconds, and then you just wipe it off. Great stuff. I love goo. Do goo love me? Okay, let's goo. Back to time lapse. The sculpture is done. all nice and smooth, ready to go. Now all I've done here is I've just chopped a little piece off this stirring stick just to accentuate where the plaque is going to go. And then I don't know if you remember on the reference there, we had those little bubbly things. This is just those things you stick on the doors so when you close them they don't slam, and I'll just stick them on there like that. Then I'm going to take this 2-litre bucket, cut off the line where the gaffer tape is so it's slightly higher than the mould itself there. I hope you can see that. And then I'll just pop that on, stick it down when that's cut off, and then fill it with silicone because I've got to make more than one of these. Last thing, get it centered and push down. There we go. Right, let's cut that off. Perfect. Now I've got some run-of-the-mill plasticine. I'm just going to place it onto that line like that all the way around, so then when we put our bucket on it'll sink into this and it'll act like a seal so none of the silicone can escape. And then you just seal it on the outside like that. Squish it all in so it can't escape. All the way against the bucket and onto the table like so. Just ramp it out. And now I'm just reinforcing that with some aluminium tape. Just to make sure it's all in there like that. Bit of release agent. Here's our silicone base, and this particular one mixes in with 3%. Some of them are half and half, some of them are 10%. This one's 3%. But to be honest with you guys, just read the label and do exactly what it says on the tin. Right, what I like to do is I just pour it on just a little bit on top, not a lot, just to cover everything sort of a little bit. That's it. And then I get my air gun on it. And this just makes the silicone get in everywhere. But if you dump it in, you could end up with an air bubble that you can't see. And then you just backfill it. Now you know that that first little thin layer, you eliminated all the bubbles, and now it'll just be a few little bubbles, but in areas that doesn't matter because you've blown the air on the faces and the statue itself. You might get some on the sides here where the mould is, the mould wall, but that doesn't matter. Now I just hit the table with the rubber mallet just to eliminate any bubbles. Now while that's drying, let's go make a stand. Okay people. All I'm going to do, I've just cut this off of there, got some Tupperware there, and I'm going to fill it with resin to about there because that's got nice decorative little lines on there, and I'm going to fill these two to about there with resin, Theatrical and catalyst. Right, now just pour it in. Let's take a look where we're going to. That line there, that's fine. Fill these to about there. And this one, a little bit more. That's it. Just make sure your table is straight level. Otherwise you'll end up with one facing the other way. Okay, so I just popped them out the mold there. Flip that over, flip that over. There you got yourself a little stand, and the statue will live on top like that. Now I did make one of these 6 years ago, but I thought I'd show you the whole process because the channel's called Ical Big Makes, not Ical Big Makes 6 years ago. You can't handle the truth. The silicone has set. Let's pop it out the mold. Oh, we lost a flag, but that's looking beautiful. Pop that back there. And then off camera, all I've done is I just put that stand in there, made a quick and dirty mold out of the bottom of that. So it gets reused. Worth a try. One more go. Yes! Perfect. Yay! Now I'm just putting a bit of talc into the mold just to clean it up a bit, and it just makes the resin flow a bit easier when you cast it. Now listen to this. See, that's when you know it's dead straight. Whereas this one, let's add a little squeak. Was that you or you? As I said before guys, mixing resin is just do whatever it says on the tin. And just pour it in, but not all the way. This is an important step. Just put a little bit in like that, and now just go in there and get it in all those little deep sockets in the eyes, the mouth, in that frame, and all the way around. And when you're reassured that all those bits are fulfilled, you just pour it in like that. Small stream, eliminate as many air bubbles as you can, but it doesn't matter now, as you know, because you've already got that already on there. Make sure your table is straight, obviously. I'll make it about that thickness, like that. Yes, that'll do. And the same with this one. Just get it in there all the way around. That's nice and dry. Let's pop them out. Perfect. Now, you see that? It's just leaning back a bit. I did that on purpose. When I made this wood, I made sure I just filed back a bit so it doesn't stand straight. It's just back a bit. Just makes it more pleasing to the eye. Ooh, unagi. Right, let's stick that on there. Or we could stick it on there. Oh yes, that looks better. Okay, half of 27. Now all we need to do, pop that in there with some resin. Okay, now we just put a little bit onto the bolt there, place it in, like so. Now I've just put it onto this, it's a bit higher, so that drill bit, hope you can see it, will hold on to it in its place perfectly. And now just a little clean up. There we go, now just let that set. It's dry, nice and solid on there. Just sand that up a little bit and we'll paint it. Now we'll give them a dusting coat with matte black, no big deal. Just a dusting coat and then seal the deal. Now that that's sealed, we're going to go in with some silver and copper rub. Evening, Sylvia.
Enough with the small talk, just arrest me.
Okay, so all we're doing now is we're just going in with some copper rub. Very lightly, just kiss it. Just kiss the edges like that. It's so satisfying to see all those shapes come to life. It's very calming and peaceful. I remember I went to America on holiday and met up with some friends, and one of my pals got a business call from home, and when the guy called him up, he said, "Hello, how are you?" And my friend replied, "My health is none of your concern, what you want." And I thought, ooh, that was a bit harsh, but I get it. He was on holiday and he wanted to enjoy it. That's kind of like what the garage is to me. I kind of like on holiday, enjoying it. That's why I always turn my phone on to silent, so I can enjoy nice peace and quiet. Just me and my copper rub. I need to get a life. And now the silver, just on those highlights, just on the highlights, just there, 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 along that top bit there, there, just on the highlights, like that. It's a little bit on this front bit here. Let's blend that to nothing, like that. And we'll just put on some little furniture pads. I would say we can call that done. And now for the big reveal. Ooh, nice. I like it. Right, let's weigh him. Okay, so we've got our fish scales here, which is 1.243. And let's weigh him. He's coming in at 743, so 743 grams. Okay, so we've got 0.743 divided by 1.243 equals 0.59. So basically that is just over half the weight of my fish scales. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly have enjoyed it, and I would love it if you like and subscribe, obviously, but if you don't, that's fine, because I've enjoyed it and I hope you have too. I'll see you next time.